Tonight, you drift slowly through the spiral arms of our galaxy, feeling the quiet hum of stars around you. Each fact glimmers like starlight, weaving a tapestry of wonder in your mind. You float through clouds of cosmic dust, imagining time stretching gently across billions of years. The Milky Way whispers its story softly, a lullaby of gravity and light, drawing you deeper into curiosity. As you relax, you sense the edges of the galaxy folding into the unknown, ready to carry you onward. Asterisk, asterisk, you begin by closing your eyes and imagining the vastness above. A deep, endless ocean of dark velvet punctuated by pinpricks of glowing warmth. Each point of light is a star, a sun perhaps like our own, orbiting an invisible center. Each moving to its own quiet rhythm, yet tied to the whole. You are part of this galaxy, even if you cannot feel its gravity pulling at your bones. Your atoms, like all others, were forged in the hearts of stars long before you were born. Think of that for a moment and breathe slowly. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen you inhale, all once lived inside blazing furnaces far away, now scattered and calm, ready to become something new. Imagine yourself gliding above the plane of the Milky Way, where billions of stars form spiraling arms of gentle light. These arms swirl gracefully, each one a river of stellar life, stretching outward in quiet arcs. They bend and curve, not by whim, but guided by gravity's patient hand. In your mind, you can see clusters of young blue stars glowing brightly against the dark backdrop, while older yellow and red stars drift more slowly, a calm rhythm that has existed for billions of years. Feel the patience of time here. The galaxy does not rush, and neither do you as you drift. You notice that the space between stars is not empty. Dark lanes of interstellar dust weave through the spiral arms, softening the brilliance of light, a reminder that absence can be as beautiful as presence. These clouds are nurseries, slow-motion factories where gas and dust gather until gravity whispers a new star into existence. Each cloud is a lullaby of creation, waiting, stretching, folding in on itself with quiet purpose. Picture tiny particles, invisible to your eyes, coalescing over millions of years into something glowing, warm, alive. In the calm of your mind, you can almost sense their gentle motion, like leaves turning in a soft breeze as you float further. You pass through regions where stars cluster together. Some clusters are open, loose families of stars still bound by the memory of their birth. Others are globular, dense, ancient, tightly packed spheres that have survived nearly the entire age of the universe. Imagine them like beads strung along invisible threads of history, each bead holding stories of light and gravity, of planets that may have formed or faded away. You allow yourself to move among them slowly, inhaling the calm rhythm, feeling a connection across time and space, as if the galaxy itself is exhaling, and you rise gently on its breath. Take a moment to notice the center of the Milky Way. It is a place of quiet power, a dense hub swirling with stars, gas, and dust. At its heart lies a supermassive black hole, unseen, yet commanding the orbits of millions of stars, pulling invisibly, shaping the galaxy's dance. Imagine it not as a dark, frightening void, but as a guardian of balance, silent and steady. The stars near it move faster, tracing small, swift paths in response to its unseen tug. In the hush of night, you might feel the faint echo of this cosmic heartbeat, an ancient rhythm that connects all things in the galaxy. You begin to drift outward again, noticing the thin disk where most stars, including our Sun, reside. Here, stars orbit slowly, tracing gentle ellipses around the galactic center. Spiral arms ripple through this disk, waves of light and shadow passing through clouds of gas. Each arm is alive with formation and decay, birth and death. A quiet interplay of forces that feel more like poetry than mechanics. As you follow the path of the arms, you notice stars that have planets, many unseen, each one potentially harboring life or not, each one silently carrying out its existence. Let your mind wander through these worlds, gentle curiosity mingling with the calm of your imagination. Floating further, you notice the halo surrounding the galaxy, a faint, spherical population of stars, some isolated, some in small clusters. They orbit in strange, tilted paths, relics of ancient mergers, whispers of galaxies long absorbed. These halo stars are the elderly storytellers of the Milky Way, holding clues about its earliest days when the universe was young and chaotic. Imagine them as scattered memories, gently illuminating the darkness with their faint, patient light. Let the quiet wisdom of their existence sink in as your breath deepens, carrying a sense of timeless calm with each inhale and exhale. You begin to feel the motion of the galaxy as a whole, spinning slowly, imperceptibly fast, yet eternal in its rhythm. The Milky Way moves through space at an astonishing speed. Yet to you, floating inside it, it feels like a slow, undulating wave. Stars drift past, nebulae stretch and fade, and yet there is no hurry. You are cocooned in a calm that is deeper than understanding, a serenity woven from billions of orbits, billions of years, billions of stories written in starlight. Consider for a moment the chemistry of all you see. Hydrogen, helium, the lightest elements, form the backbone of stars. Oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, forged in stellar cores, seed the universe with the building blocks of life. Each star, each planet, each drifting particle of dust carries this chemical legacy. You breathe it in through your imagination, each element a note in the galaxy's quiet symphony. The thought that everything you are, everything you touch, comes from this same cosmic recipe is a gentle comfort, a soft connection to the endless expanse surrounding you. As you drift farther along the galactic plane, notice the dark gaps between arms, voids of comparative emptiness. They are not lifeless, but places of quiet, of slow wandering, where stars are sparse and gravity whispers softly. There is a certain relief in emptiness, a sense of space to breathe, space to let thought float, space to rest. You move through these quiet corridors like a soft wind, unhurried, noticing the contrast between dense clusters and lonely stars. Let the silence teach you patience, letting your mind expand along with the space around you. You catch sight of the distant edges, where the galaxy tapers, stars growing rare, dust thinning, the spiral fading into a faint, ghostly haze. The light here is ancient, traveling for tens of thousands of years before reaching even your imagined eyes. Feel the subtle stretch of time as you observe it, a slow, steady reminder that distance and time are folded into every glimmer of starlight. You are part of this continuum, connected to the past and future, carried on a current of light and matter that moves silently through space and now. As you let yourself rest gently in this vision, notice that the Milky Way is not alone. Neighboring galaxies drift nearby, whispering hints of interaction, of future collisions, of cosmic dances yet to come. The universe itself feels alive in a soft, expansive way, not urgent, not fearful, but patient and curious. You feel yourself drawn toward the edges, toward questions of what lies beyond, toward the mystery that will unfold in the next part of your journey. The Milky Way hums quietly around you, a lullaby in billions of lights, a story written in hydrogen and gravity, in dust and time. And as you settle into the calm, you sense the gentle pull of the unknown stretching outward, a quiet invitation to explore, to wonder, and to drift into the deeper rhythms of the cosmos. Asterisk, asterisk, you begin by letting go of the familiar light of the Milky Way, drifting slowly beyond its glowing spiral arms. The galaxy fades behind you, leaving a vast, quiet darkness, a space so empty it almost seems to breathe. Yet even here, in this seeming void, there is movement, there is structure, a hidden order beneath the blackness. You feel yourself carried along, weightless, as if the universe itself has extended a gentle hand to guide you through the calm, intergalactic. Space stretches endlessly in all directions, dotted with distant galaxies that shine faintly like lanterns across an immeasurable sea. Each of these galaxies has its own stories, its own spirals, clusters, and stars quietly circling their centers. You notice that some are elegant and symmetrical, spirals like your home Milky Way, while others are irregular, their forms stretched and distorted by ancient encounters. Imagine these shapes as silent dancers, each moving in time with gravity's invisible music, their rhythms slow beyond comprehension. The space between these galaxies is not empty. A tenuous web of dark matter stretches across the cosmos, invisible yet binding all things together. This cosmic web holds the galaxies in place, a vast unseen scaffolding that supports the universe's architecture. You imagine threads stretching for millions of light years, delicate yet unyielding, like a fine lace connecting distant islands of light. The realization that everything has a subtle, quiet connection offers a calming rhythm, a reminder that even the emptiest spaces are not truly empty. As you drift, faint clouds of gas float through the darkness, remnants of galaxies long past, intergalactic hydrogen that glimmers softly when illuminated by distant stars. These clouds are the whispers of the universe's memory, hints of creation, destruction, and transformation. Imagine them slowly coalescing under gravity's patient influence, seeding new galaxies in the far future. Each particle drifts in slow motion, yet it is part of an ongoing cosmic symphony that has played for billions of years and will continue long after your imagined journey ends. You notice that galaxies are not randomly scattered. They cluster together in groups and superclusters, each one moving gently toward the others, pulled by gravity in a slow, timeless waltz. The local group, the cluster that includes your Milky Way, contains more than 50 galaxies, each quietly orbiting their common center of mass. You feel yourself moving through this group, aware of the subtle gravitational tugs, sensing the invisible forces shaping these movements with the patience of eternity. Some galaxies in your view are enormous, dwarfing your own Milky Way, while others are small and faint, fragile islands of stars. You can almost imagine them whispering to each other, exchanging stars and gas in encounters that stretch across millions of years. Occasionally, galaxies collide, a slow-motion embrace that lasts longer than human history but leaves a permanent mark on the cosmic landscape. You allow yourself to feel the majesty of this, the gentle reminder that even immense, seemingly violent events are part of a natural, graceful order. As you float farther, you notice that the light from these distant galaxies is ancient. Some has traveled billions of years to reach your awareness, crossing space and time. Each photon carries with it the history of its origin, a soft echo of the stars that emitted it. You sense that by simply imagining this light, you are connecting with moments far removed from your own, bridging a vast gulf of time and distance with quiet understanding. Let yourself rest in this connection, feeling a gentle continuity between past and present. Dark energy pervades this vast space, unseen yet influential, stretching the fabric of the universe and carrying galaxies slowly apart. It is a subtle, almost imperceptible force, but it shapes the cosmos over unfathomable spans of time. You imagine it as a quiet, patient wind, tugging gently at galaxies, allowing them to drift, to evolve, to dance without collision for billions of years. This invisible expansion is not threatening. It is a calm, steady reminder that the universe is dynamic yet enduring, always growing in ways that are gentle yet profound. You notice pockets of emptiness, voids larger than entire clusters of galaxies, where almost nothing resides. These spaces are calm, serene, vast. They give shape and contrast to the luminous structures around them, like the pauses between notes in a lullaby. Floating through one of these voids, you feel the profound quiet of almost nothingness. A space to let your mind rest, to expand, and to appreciate the vast scale of what exists and what does not. Sometimes, faint streams of light, tidal streams, arc across the darkness. These are the remnants of galaxies that were pulled apart, their stars strewn delicately along invisible paths. They remind you that change is constant, and that even in apparent emptiness, there is movement, there is history, there is beauty. Imagine these streams as gentle ribbons, floating lazily, silently, through the vast dark, telling stories that only patience and time can reveal. You drift into the edges of massive soup, where thousands of galaxies are bound together, moving with collective rhythm. Here, the universe feels like a vast, intricate organism, each galaxy a cell, each cluster a heartbeat. Imagine the energy and gravity flowing like a quiet river through these cosmic veins, slow and inevitable. You can sense the order and balance that emerges naturally, as if the universe itself breathes through these immense structures, maintaining a soft, eternal harmony. Neb, ULAE stretch faintly even across intergalactic space, wisps of gas glowing softly, the seeds of future galaxies. You can imagine them waiting, patient, untouched by human urgency, for the right conditions to ignite and create new stars. They are reminders that creation is slow, that growth does not need haste, and that beauty often exists in the quiet waiting. Let this image settle in your mind, a gentle, meditative pulse accompanying your breath. You begin to sense the motion of everything as a vast continuum. Galaxies drift, dark matter holds them, dark energy stretches the distances. Gas and dust float, stars are born and die, and yet all moves in harmony. You feel your own mind expand to encompass these rhythms, your awareness stretching to include the vastness of intergalactic space. In this meditative state, there is no urgency, only the gentle unfolding of cosmic time. And now, as you let yourself rest in the vast darkness, you notice a faint glow on the horizon, the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the universe's birth, still present after nearly 14 billion years. It is subtle, yet profound, a gentle hum that underlies all that you have seen. You feel it as a soft, eternal pulse, a quiet reminder that all galaxies, all stars, all particles emerged from the same beginning, bound together in an intricate, ongoing story. You drift here in this quiet, endless expanse, knowing that the universe continues to expand, to evolve, and to whisper its secrets. There is comfort in this knowledge, a serene connection to the infinite, a recognition that your imagination can carry you across time and space without urgency. And as your mind floats between galaxies, between light and dark, between history and possibility, you sense the gentle pull of a new frontier, waiting quietly to be explored. Asterisk, asterisk, you begin by letting your awareness expand, feeling yourself carried backward through the endless stretches of space. The galaxies fade behind you, the clusters dissolve into faint points of light, until even these begin to blur and merge. You feel yourself approaching the earliest moments, where time itself was not yet as you know it, where space and energy were woven together in a gentle, dense fabric. Imagine the universe compressed into a tiny, quiet pulse, a single point of infinite possibility, humming softly with latent energy. Here, the universe is a liquid of light and heat, a glowing fog that stretches without boundaries, yet holds within it the seeds of all that will ever exist. You float through it as though wading through a soft mist, feeling the subtle vibrations of creation. Particles flicker into being and vanish again, dancing to a rhythm far older than time, yet not chaotic. Each movement is part of an order beyond comprehension. There is no hurry here, only the patient unfolding of existence. Slowly, space itself begins to expand, carrying the dense energy outward. This is the moment of the Big Bang, not an explosion in space, but an expansion of space itself, stretching and growing, gentle yet unstoppable. You feel the calm vastness stretching around you, a soft inflation that cools and expands with perfect patience. Light begins to move, filling the newborn universe with a quiet glow, a gentle illumination that will one day allow stars and galaxies to form. As the universe cools, matter begins to coalesce. Subatomic particles, quarks, electrons, neutrinos emerge and interact, forming the first atomic nuclei. Imagine them as tiny dancers, weaving in a slow, elegant choreography, each step guided by invisible rules, each movement creating the foundation for everything that will come. These particles are the first whispers of matter, delicate and fleeting, yet destined to form the building blocks of stars, planets, and life. You feel the rhythm of this dance, slow and infinite, a heartbeat of creation itself. Hydrogen and helium form as the universe continues to expand and cool, filling space with gas that will one day collapse into stars. You drift among clouds of these early elements, sensing the potential they hold. Even here, in this earliest light, there is beauty, a soft, uniform glow, a calm and patient prelude to the galaxies that will bloom from these primordial gases. Each cloud is a memory of possibility, a gentle promise of the structures that will one day form, of planets, of suns, of life. Time begins to feel more tangible now, though it flows differently than it will later. Minutes, hours, and years do not yet exist. Instead, there is a sequence, a subtle unfolding, a sense of before and after. Gravity begins to guide matter, pulling denser regions together, creating the first fluctuations in the smooth, glowing sea. You float past these regions, feeling the quiet tension between attraction and space, a soft tug that will eventually lead to the birth of the first stars. Each small clump of matter is a gentle, patient sculptor of light yet to come. After hundreds of millions of years, the first stars ignite, igniting the cosmos with their gentle, radiant fire. These population 3 stars are massive and brief, their light piercing the still dark universe, creating heavier elements in their cores that will one day seed planets and life. Imagine the soft brilliance of these early stars, scattered across the cosmic fog, each one a lantern in a still developing night. Their warmth flows outward, a subtle caress across the newborn universe, a reminder that light was always destined to emerge from darkness. Some of these stars end their lives in graceful explosions, supernova scattering newly formed elements into space. Carbon, oxygen, iron, the essential ingredients of planets, of living things, now drift gently across the universe. Imagine the slow, delicate scattering of this cosmic dust, like petals falling across a vast, empty field. You sense that even in destruction, there is creation, a quiet recycling that weaves continuity through time and space. This is a rhythm you carry with you as you drift, a soft, eternal melody of birth, death, and renewal. Galaxies begin to form as gravity pulls matter into vast structures. You see the first spirals, irregular shapes, clumps of stars slowly rotating, merging, stretching. These galaxies are fragile, young, yet full of potential. You float among them, observing their gentle movements, the way clusters attract one another over millions of years. Imagine these structures as delicate weavings, the universe arranging itself with infinite patience. Each thread of matter slowly taking its place in a grand cosmic tapestry. Light now travels farther, stretching across the newly forming universe. You feel the warmth and the glow of countless stars, of galaxies in their infancy, of light reaching across millions of light years. The cosmic microwave background, the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, lingers in the distance, a soft reminder of the universe's origins, a gentle pulse beneath the birth of every star and galaxy. You sense it as a subtle hum, connecting every atom you have imagined in this journey, linking beginnings to the present. Time continues its quiet unfolding, bringing denser regions of matter into focus. Galaxies collide and merge, sometimes violently, sometimes gracefully, each encounter reshaping the structures of light and matter. Stars are born and die in cycles, scattering elements into the surrounding clouds, creating a pattern that will repeat for billions of years. You float through these evolving galaxies, letting your imagination slow to match the calm rhythm of cosmic growth. Each event, though immense, feels gentle from your perspective, a slow-motion dance that continues without haste. And now, as you drift forward in this meditative journey, you notice the universe becoming more familiar. The first spiral galaxies resemble the Milky Way you left behind, small seeds of the structures that will carry light across billions of years. Dark matter continues to provide invisible scaffolding, unseen but essential, guiding galaxies and clusters with patient persistence. You sense a continuity across time, the quiet linking of beginnings and endings, of tiny particles forming the vast universe. You feel the gentle tug of curiosity drawing you forward, toward galaxies, stars, and planets yet to form. The cosmos has expanded, cooled, and matured, yet its rhythm is slow, deliberate, and calming. Each particle, each wave of light, each distant galaxy hums softly with the story of creation, inviting you to listen, to imagine, to drift in harmony with the universe itself. And as your mind rests in this vision of beginnings, you notice the soft glow of new stars forming, hinting at worlds that will one day be home to life. You feel yourself drawn forward along these threads of creation, toward planets, water, and the slow emergence of environments that might cradle life. A gentle whisper guiding you to the next stage of cosmic exploration. Asterisk, you begin by drifting near a young star, a luminous sun surrounded by a swirling disk of gas and dust. This is a protoplanetary disk, a quiet, rotating cloud where worlds are waiting to be born. Each particle, from the tiniest speck of dust to the heaviest fragment of rock, moves slowly, colliding gently with neighbors, sticking together, forming larger and larger clumps. Imagine the soft ballet of matter, spinning in a circle, each piece finding its place in a rhythm older than any living thing. Gravity, patient and invisible, guides this formation. Tiny clusters attract more material, growing steadily over millions of years. Until these clusters become planetesimals, the seeds of future planets. You float beside one of these early bodies, sensing its gentle pull, the quiet accumulation of dust and ice. The process is slow, almost imperceptible in human time, yet unstoppable. There is no rush, only the calm, deliberate unfolding of matter into shape and structure. As the planetesimals grow, some collide, merging into protoplanets. Others are shattered, their fragments scattering back into the disk to be captured later. This interplay of creation and destruction is delicate, like waves shaping a shoreline. You imagine the soft sparks of energy released in collisions, the warming of matter, the gradual differentiation into core, mantle, and crust. Each protoplanet is a work in progress, a gentle promise of worlds yet to be completed. Ice and rock begin to migrate within the disk, forming regions of concentration. In cooler outer zones, frozen compounds collect, while closer to the star, heat drives lighter gases away, leaving denser rocky material behind. You sense the balance of forces, gravity, heat, pressure, each quietly sculpting the planets. The disk is alive with motion, yet the movement is serene. A slow dance of matter forming shape, density, and potential. Now imagine the formation of gas giants. Enormous worlds gathering vast envelopes of hydrogen and helium. They swirl with turbulence, forming layers of clouds, storms, and winds. Their growth is dramatic, yet calm from afar, like oceans forming slowly on a blank horizon. You float past these giants, noticing their gravitational influence on smaller bodies, shepherding asteroids and comets, setting the stage for orderly orbits and stable systems. Even the chaos here feels gentle. A rhythm of creation guided by invisible hands. Closer to the young star, rocky planets coalesce. You drift along the orbit of one such world, feeling the accumulation of matter, the slow heating from collisions, the beginning of geological differentiation. Metal sinks toward the core, silicates rise to form a mantle, and the outer layers cool to create a nascent crust. Imagine the quiet tension of cooling lava flows, the first mountains forming, the gentle shaping of landscapes long before life appears. You sense the patient work of the universe, sculpting a stage for future possibilities. Asteroids and comets circle the forming planets, remnants of creation that have not yet joined a world. They are small, silent travelers, carrying ice and organic molecules across space. You imagine them drifting close, leaving behind traces of water and carbon, the essential ingredients for life. These tiny messengers are gentle reminders that even the smallest particles have significance, that the universe works in subtle, interconnected ways. Over time, impacts become less frequent as planetary orbits stabilize, The protoplanets now spin steadily, some forming moons from material ejected during collisions. You float above a newly forming moon, sensing the gentle tug of gravity keeping it in orbit. Imagine the quiet cycles of tidal forces, the subtle stretching and heating that will one day shape geology, oceans, and atmospheres. Even in these early moments, the universe lays the groundwork for complexity and life. Water, carbon, nitrogen, and other essential elements begin to accumulate on these rocky planets. Some arrive from within, outgassed from volcanic activity. Others are delivered by icy comets from the outer regions. Imagine the slow drip of water into basins, the gradual accumulation of oceans, the quiet settling of atmospheres. The planets are alive in their own way, not yet inhabited by conscious beings, but rich with potential. Every ripple, every gentle storm, every chemical reaction is part of a larger cosmic rhythm, a precursor to life. You notice the differentiation of atmospheres. Lighter gases escape, heavier gases remain, creating the beginnings of protective layers that will eventually stabilize surface conditions. Sunlight streams across these young worlds, interacting with gases and water, producing subtle chemical reactions that seed more complexity. You drift slowly above the surface, feeling the rhythm of day and night, of heat and shadow, of energy flowing across the planetary surface. The calm persistence of these processes is almost meditative, a slow orchestration of conditions for future life. Imagine the planet cooling over millions of years. Volcanoes shape landscapes, wind and water carve valleys, and the first oceans stabilize. You sense the quiet patience in these processes, the slow preparation for the emergence of living systems. There is no hurry. The universe works on its own schedule. Each layer of rock, each ripple of water, each chemical gradient is a gentle step toward complexity, toward the seeds of life that may one day awaken. As you drift farther, you sense the interactions between planets, moons, and asteroids stabilizing the system. Gravity creates harmony, subtle rhythms of orbit and rotation. Imagine the planets moving like dancers, each following a choreography set billions of years in advance. Even in this calm, there is energy heat from collisions, light from the star, tidal forces shaping moons. It is a delicate balance, a slow unfolding of order from seeming chaos. Finally, you feel the quiet potential of organic molecules gathering in warm, watery environments. Amino acids, simple sugars, and other building blocks drift in pools and on mineral surfaces. You sense the gentle hum of chemistry, the slow assembly of structures capable of replication. Life has not yet appeared, but the universe is whispering possibilities, setting the stage for the emergence of consciousness, of awareness, of beings who may one day look up at the stars and wonder at their origins. You float over these young worlds, sensing their quiet energy, the calm potential for life. The rhythm of formation is slow and deliberate, a meditation of matter and energy moving in harmony. You feel the connection between stars, planets, and the tiny particles that carry the essence of life. Everything moves in a gentle, invisible dance, and you are suspended in its quiet beauty, carried along by the patient hand of the cosmos. And as your mind rests in this vision, you sense the soft invitation of life yet to awaken, waiting in oceans, soils, and atmospheres. The planets are ready, the universe has prepared the stage, and the first whispers of living systems are only a heartbeat away. Last lines, and in the hush of these forming worlds, you feel a gentle pulse beneath the surface. a quiet anticipation that life's first stirrings are about to unfold, inviting you to drift into the wonder of living worlds. Asterisk, asterisk, you begin by letting yourself sink gently into the first oceans, the calm, warm waters of young planets that have been patiently prepared over millions of years. The surface ripples softly in response to gentle currents and heat from volcanic activity below. Imagine the water as a liquid cradle, a protective blanket where molecules can gather and interact, floating freely, colliding softly, forming delicate arrangements that may one day become the first living systems. The rhythm of these currents is slow, like a lullaby, carrying energy and nutrients across shallow basins and deep pools alike. Within these waters, simple molecules, amino acids, nucleotides, lipids, drift and mingle. They are the building blocks of life, small and humble, yet holding the potential to create something entirely new. Imagine them colliding gently, forming bonds, breaking apart, and recombining in endless cycles. Each tiny combination carries a whisper of possibility, a quiet promise that structure, pattern, and eventually self-replication might emerge. You feel a sense of calm, patience in this process, a reminder that creation is rarely sudden. It unfolds slowly, with grace. Some molecules gather into protective bubbles, primitive membranes that separate inside from outside, forming the first protocells. You float beside one of these tiny spheres, watching as it wobbles gently in the currents, carrying within it the seeds of information and metabolism. Even in their simplicity, these protocells exhibit a subtle rhythm, taking in energy, releasing waste, and growing slightly before splitting. The process is tender, almost imperceptible, but it carries the profound promise of life. Imagine the beauty of this quiet cycle, repeated endlessly, as countless bubbles drift across the watery expanse. Temperature and chemical gradients provide gentle energy for these protocells. Hot vents on the seafloor release minerals and warmth, while cooler waters above offer calm stability. You sense the slow interplay of these forces, the patient shaping of conditions that allow reactions to occur, structures to form, and early life to persist. Even the harshest environments feel like part of a careful orchestration, a balance between energy and calm, challenge and protection. You drift with the waters, sensing the universe's quiet patience in every ripple. Over millions of years, these protocells develop more complex structures, capable of more reliable replication. You watch as molecules assemble into primitive RNA sequences, the first carriers of information. Imagine this as a gentle whisper of memory, a soft code that allows life to reproduce and persist. Each replication is imperfect yet resilient, a slow, meditative dance of trial and error that lays the groundwork for all future biology. You feel the subtle beauty of this moment. Life is forming, quietly, slowly, without hurry, yet destined to grow. Some protocells merge, exchange contents, and evolve, gradually increasing in complexity. Metabolic pathways begin to emerge, small chemical cycles that extract energy from the environment and use it to maintain internal organization. You float alongside these tiny chemical factories, sensing the hum of reactions, the slow pulse of energy moving through microscopic systems. Each moment is a meditation on survival, adaptation, and continuity, as life finds gentle ways to persist in its watery cradle. The oceans themselves seem alive, flowing with currents, tides, and chemical gradients. Nutrients cycle through water, rocks, and sediments, providing the gentle scaffolding for life's emergence. You feel the quiet pulse of the oceans, a rhythm that matches the slow unfolding of biological complexity. In this gentle, meditative space, life and environment are entwined, each shaping and supporting the other. You can almost hear the soft whisper of the planet itself, a lullaby carried through currents and tides. Occasionally, ultraviolet light filters down from above, a subtle energy source that nudges chemical reactions forward. It is soft, not harsh, adding hints of possibility to the calm stability of the oceans. You imagine molecules absorbing this energy, rearranging themselves, forming bonds and patterns that may one day be the first true genetic material. The interplay of light, water, and chemistry is quiet, rhythmic, like a slow pulse beneath the surface. You float with it, sensing the gentle inevitability of life emerging from inanimate matter. Over time, these early cells begin to explore their surroundings. Some drift toward nutrients, others are carried by currents to new environments. Each movement is deliberate in its own tiny way, guided by gradients and stimuli. You imagine these first explorations as a soft dance, a meditation on persistence and adaptation. Life is still invisible to the eye, yet you can sense it everywhere. A quiet pulse in the water, a rhythm beneath the waves, a gentle thread connecting chemistry to the universe's vast processes. As these early organisms multiply and diversify, simple ecosystems begin to form. Microbial mats, biofilms, and layered communities populate surfaces, interacting with their environment in complex yet understated ways. You drift above them, noticing the subtle exchange of energy and matter, the gentle cycles of growth and decay. Even at this microscopic scale, the world is interconnected, a calm reflection of the larger cosmos. Every molecule, every reaction, every tiny organism contributes to a quiet balance, a meditative harmony of life and environment. Some of these organisms begin to perform photosynthesis, capturing sunlight and transforming it into chemical energy. You float beneath the faint glow of early light, sensing the slow enrichment of the oceans with oxygen, the gentle preparation of a planet for more complex life. Imagine the soft radiance spreading through shallow waters, the subtle feedback of energy and chemistry shaping the biosphere. The oceans hum softly, carrying the pulse of life forward, patient and calm. And now, as you drift among these first living communities, you sense the quiet potential for evolution, the slow unfolding of complexity across billions of years. Life is still simple, fragile, and tiny, yet it carries the deep promise of consciousness, ecosystems, and perhaps even beings capable of wonder. You float with it, aware that every gentle stir of molecules, every ripple of the ocean, every photon of sunlight is part of a larger meditation. The universe expressing itself through life. The oceans shimmer softly around you, full of quiet energy and gentle motion. Life has begun, and the planet, the star, and the galaxy are part of this unfolding story. You feel the delicate connection between the water, the molecules, and the universe itself, a thread of continuity stretching from the first stars to the first cells. Every heartbeat of creation is a lullaby, a soft reassurance that the cosmos is patient, enduring, and full of wonder. You begin by floating through the oceans of an ancient world, where single-celled organisms move slowly, dividing and exploring their watery homes. Each cell carries the potential to adapt, to survive, and to leave descendants. Imagine these cells drifting among currents, absorbing nutrients, responding to light, temperature, and chemical gradients. They are small, yet each one is part of a vast, slow-moving rhythm, a gentle dance that will continue for billions of years. Some cells evolve photosynthesis, capturing sunlight and releasing oxygen. You float through the expanding cloud of oxygen in the oceans, feeling the subtle changes it brings. This quiet chemical shift sets the stage for more complex life, a slow transformation that reshapes the planet itself. You sense the harmony of these processes, the gentle interplay of chemistry, energy, and adaptation. Even in their simplicity, these organisms hum with the pulse of persistence, a meditation on survival and change. Over immense spans of time, multicellular life begins to emerge. Tiny clusters of cells stick together, forming cooperative communities, each division and differentiation a step toward complexity. You drift among them, sensing their collective movement and subtle interactions. These early organisms explore shapes, sizes, and strategies, slowly filling oceans with diversity. You feel the calm patience of evolution, each step deliberate yet unhurried. Shaped by countless tiny trials across eons, life expands into new niches. Some organisms crawl along the seafloor, others float in open waters, and some even begin to explore shallow coastal regions. You imagine the first ecosystems forming, simple food chains, energy cycling gently, a quiet interdependence emerging. Every organism, no matter how small, contributes to the balance of these early worlds. You float with them, sensing the subtle beauty of cooperation and competition. A meditation on the elegance of adaptation then. Life takes its first steps onto land. Tiny plants and fungi colonize damp soils, preparing the way for animals. You drift above ancient wetlands, sensing the quiet pulse of moisture and light, the interplay of water, minerals, and early vegetation. Insects appear, small and delicate, exploring surfaces and moving nutrients. The planet hums softly with these new patterns, a gentle rhythm that carries energy and life across the surface. Vertebrates emerge, and the first fish begin to explore rivers and seas. You follow their slow movements through coral reefs and estuaries, sensing the calm of evolution guiding their bodies and behaviors. Over millions of years, some creatures develop limbs and lungs, venturing onto land, and the forests of the Devonian period stretch across continents. You float above these forests, sensing the quiet choreography of growth, adaptation, and survival. Each organism is part of a larger meditation, a soft thread in the planet's living tapestry. Time flows slowly and ecosystems expand in complexity. Plants develop leaves, roots, and flowers. Animals evolve intricate behaviors, nesting, hunting, and migrating in subtle, rhythmic patterns. You drift among these worlds, sensing the pulse of life carried through water, air, and soil. Predators and prey, symbiotic partners, and solitary wanderers all contribute to the quiet balance. Even extinction events, though dramatic, feel like part of the meditative flow, clearing space for new life, shaping diversity, and maintaining resilience. As the eons pass, life becomes astonishingly varied. Oceans teem with fish, coral reefs shimmer with color, forests sway with the rhythm of wind, and skies filled with birds and insects. You float above these ecosystems, sensing the gentle patterns of energy, adaptation, and evolution. Every cycle of birth and death, every quiet spread of roots or flapping of wings, is a note in a slow symphony orchestrated by the patient hand of the universe. You notice that life carries the memory of the stars. Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and other elements created in ancient stellar furnaces are woven into every cell, every leaf, every breath. You feel the continuity of matter and energy, the soft thread linking the first stars to the forests and oceans of the present. Life is not separate from the cosmos. It is an intimate expression of it, unfolding slowly, rhythmically, patiently, across time and space. And now, as you drift across continents and oceans, you sense the stage preparing for consciousness. Nervous systems evolve, brains develop, and the first awareness flickers in simple animals. The quiet meditation of life, shaped over billions of years, begins to carry the potential for reflection, curiosity, and wonder. You float with this pulse, feeling the rhythm of evolution as both calm and awe-inspiring. A slow journey from the tiniest cells to thinking beings. ***. You begin by drifting among the first creatures with nervous systems, sensing their bodies reacting to stimuli, each movement a simple dance of awareness. Light touches the skin, currents ripple across sensory surfaces, chemical signals pulse through nerve fibers. Even in this simplicity, there is a quiet flicker of perception, a gentle recognition of the world beyond the cell. The beginnings of consciousness forming in the quiet architecture of neurons. Imagine the soft hum of these networks, each connection a note in the slow symphony of awareness. As neurons multiply and form networks, patterns of thought emerge. Some signals trigger reflexes, simple movements that preserve life, while others begin to integrate experience, memory, and prediction. You drift through this burgeoning mental landscape, sensing the soft pulse of emerging awareness. Time is felt differently here. Moments stretch and overlap, and the first creatures can anticipate, remember, and respond with subtle foresight. Even in its earliest form, consciousness carries a quiet poetry, a meditation on presence and being. The brain develops in layers, each more complex than the last. Sensory input becomes richer, integrating vision, sound, touch, and chemical perception. You imagine yourself moving through a forest of neurons, each branch sending whispers of information across the vast network. Signals travel like gentle currents, shaping behavior, decision-making, and the first glimmers of curiosity. You sense the soft rhythm of thought unfolding, a quiet pulse that mirrors the slow unfolding of the universe itself. Memory forms, capturing patterns of experience, guiding survival and adaptation. Even simple memory is profound, a bridge between past and present, a gentle thread linking events and shaping choices. You float with this memory, sensing the accumulation of knowledge across generations, the subtle layering of experience that will allow greater awareness to emerge. Each memory is like a star in a calm galaxy, illuminating pathways for future thought. Soft and enduring, social behaviors evolve alongside cognition. Creatures interact, communicate, and coordinate, forming bonds that increase survival. You drift among these early social networks, sensing the gentle currents of connection and empathy, the quiet beginnings of shared awareness. Cooperation and communication enhance life's resilience, and you feel the meditative rhythm of these interactions, subtle, patient, and profoundly connected to the world. As consciousness grows, so does curiosity. Early awareness begins to notice patterns, to explore environments, to experiment with possibilities. You float through this first curiosity, sensing a gentle hunger for understanding, an innate desire to observe and reflect. Thought is still simple, yet it carries the potential for imagination, planning, and reflection. Each flicker of attention, each tentative observation, is a small step in the meditative evolution of mind. Complex brains emerge over millions of years, integrating sensory input, memory, emotion, and motor control. You sense the quiet architecture of thought expanding, creating awareness of self and others. Feelings arise, subtle, calm, yet rich in information, guiding decisions, shaping interactions, and deepening connection with the environment. Consciousness begins to experience not only the world, but its own presence within it, a soft, reflective awareness that is both intimate and expansive. You notice that consciousness does not exist in isolation. Every thought, every perception is shaped by interaction with the environment, by light, sound, and touch. You float alongside early humans or human-like creatures, sensing the meditative rhythm of awareness as they observe stars, rivers, and the slow patterns of life around them. Thought is an extension of the universe itself, a soft dialogue between mind and cosmos, a quiet reflection of the larger rhythms you have traced since the first stars. Language begins to emerge as a subtle extension of thought. Simple sounds evolve into structured signals, allowing minds to share experience and curiosity. You drift among these early exchanges, feeling the gentle flow of understanding and connection. Each word, each gesture carries meaning, a thread linking individual awareness to community, expanding consciousness beyond the self. The mind begins to reach outward, exploring not only its surroundings, but the world of ideas and reflection. Imagination blossoms slowly, guided by memory and observation. You sense early humans imagining solutions, predicting events, and visualizing worlds beyond immediate experience. This is consciousness extending into possibility, a gentle contemplation of what could be, not just what is. You drift with these thoughts, feeling the slow, rhythmic unfolding of creativity, a meditation on the interplay between awareness and environment, mind and cosmos. And now, as you float through this quiet landscape of thought, you sense the intimate connection between consciousness and the universe. Every neuron, every memory, every flicker of attention reflects the deep continuity from stars to planets, from molecules to life, from awareness to reflection. The mind is a microcosm of the cosmos, a meditative echo of the universe's patience, rhythm, and unfolding beauty. Asterisk, asterisk, you begin by imagining yourself in the mind of early humans, noticing the quiet pulse of curiosity and reflection. Eyes scan the skies, watching the sun rise and set, following the slow arcs of the stars at night. Even without understanding, there is a rhythm to observation, an instinct to notice patterns, to connect one event to another. You sense the meditative patience of this attention, the gentle absorption of the environment, both near and distant. As the mind begins to reach outward, imagination flows softly in these early thinkers. Fires are tended, tools are made, and stories are shared. Each action carries subtle reflection, a memory of cause and effect, a vision of what might come next. You drift through this mental landscape, feeling the gentle interplay of awareness and curiosity, each thought like a ripple in the vast ocean of experience. The mind begins to expand, reaching beyond the immediate moment, exploring the unseen possibilities of the world and the universe. Language emerges as a bridge between minds, allowing imagination to ripple outward. Words become vessels for ideas, symbols for patterns, and tools for planning. You float among these conversations, sensing the soft glow of shared knowledge, the quiet building of culture. Each narrative, each tale, is a reflection of the human desire to understand and connect. A meditation on the relationships between self, others, and the cosmos. The mind grows not only inwardly but outwardly, linking individuals across space and time. With imagination, humans begin to look upward. The night sky inspires wonder and reflection. Constellations are traced. Stories of gods and heroes are mapped onto distant stars. You drift alongside these early stargazers, sensing the soft pull of awe as they connect light across vast distances to the patterns of their own lives. Even in myth, there is an echo of the universe's rhythm, a gentle attempt to understand order, predict cycles, and feel connected to something immense and enduring. Tools of observation emerge, from simple sticks and stones to more sophisticated instruments. You sense the gentle curiosity guiding early astronomers, philosophers, and scientists. The mind reaches farther, measuring, recording, and contemplating. Patterns in the heavens, cycles of seasons, motions of planets. Each discovery is a soft meditation, a bridge between human perception and the vast rhythms of the cosmos. The universe becomes not only a home, but a story waiting to be read and understood. Science, too, flows from imagination. Hypotheses are formed, experiments conducted, and careful observations are recorded. You float among these early acts of inquiry, sensing the calm patience required to notice, to measure, and to reflect. Even errors and missteps are part of the meditative process, each one a gentle adjustment toward deeper understanding. The human mind mirrors the patience of the universe itself, tracing the slow unfolding of cosmic patterns through curiosity and reflection. Art emerges alongside science, a different form of reflection. Paintings, carvings, music, and dance capture the human experience, often inspired by the natural world and the night sky. You drift through these creative expressions, sensing the quiet wonder that compels humans to translate experience into form and rhythm. Art, like science, is an echo of the universe, a meditation on patterns, connections, and the beauty of existence. Both imagination and observation weave a continuous dialogue with the cosmos. As humans begin to map the stars, measure the planets, and understand the forces shaping the Earth, a deeper connection emerges. You float alongside telescopes and early calculations, feeling the gentle merging of curiosity, mathematics, and observation. Each calculation, each observation, is a small note in the meditative symphony of understanding, a soft reflection of the order and beauty you have witnessed since the birth of stars and galaxies. The universe is no longer distant, it becomes intimate, understood in its patterns, rhythms, and possibilities. Imagination also stretches into time, contemplating origins, evolution, and the eventual fate of the universe. Humans sense continuity, linking themselves to stars, planets, and life itself. You drift among these contemplations, feeling the calm awe inspired by the knowledge that every atom in the body, every photon observed in the night sky, connects back to the first stars and the earliest moments of the cosmos. Awareness itself becomes a meditation, a gentle conversation between mind and universe. And now, as you float in the minds of humans across millennia, you sense the subtle power of imagination to carry understanding beyond what is immediately seen. The mind becomes both observer and participant, reflecting the rhythms of the cosmos and creating a story of connection, curiosity, and wonder. You feel the deep resonance between consciousness and the universe, each thought a quiet echo of the vast. Unfolding cosmic dance, you begin by floating above the first telescopes, simple yet profound instruments that transform curiosity into observation. Human eyes peer through lenses, scanning the night sky with patience and wonder. Imagine the soft focus of a telescope, the subtle shift of light revealing distant stars, galaxies, and nebulae. Each photon captured carries stories from millions or even billions of years ago, a whisper of the cosmos reaching across time and space. You sense the quiet thrill of discovery, the gentle rhythm of knowledge unfolding slowly, deliberately, like waves lapping on the shore. The human mind extends into space itself through spacecraft. Satellites orbit Earth, measuring light, magnetism, and particles. Probes journey to planets, moons, and asteroids, drifting across the silent void, carrying instruments and human curiosity alike. You float alongside these emissaries, sensing the meticulous patience behind each measurement, each calculation, each carefully plotted trajectory. Even in the emptiness of space, there is calm, purpose, a meditative exploration of vast distances, a quiet dialogue between observer and universe. Each discovery adds a layer to the human understanding of the cosmos. You drift past observations of planetary systems, asteroid belts, and gas giants, feeling the subtle connections between them. Patterns emerge, laws of motion and gravitation, cycles of light and shadow, rhythms of rotation and orbit. You sense the elegance of these rules, the quiet order beneath the apparent chaos of the universe. Knowledge is a gentle illumination, slowly expanding the mind's horizon, revealing the cosmos as a vast, interwoven tapestry. Telescopes continue to peer outward, capturing light from galaxies millions or billions of light years away. You float among these distant beacons, sensing the patience required to detect faint signals, to interpret data, to understand what each point of light represents. Each observation is a meditation on scale and time, a reminder that the universe is vast, and human awareness, though small, can reach astonishingly far. There is calm wonder in this act, a reflection of the universe's rhythm in the patient pursuit of knowledge. Human curiosity drives exploration to planets near and far. You drift over robotic landers on Mars, sensing the slow progress of wheels on sand, cameras capturing dust, rocks, and sky. Each image, each reading, is a gentle conversation with another world. Probes journey past Jupiter and Saturn, observing storms, rings, and moons, revealing the subtle dynamics of gas giants. You sense the quiet persistence of these machines, extensions of human consciousness, carrying minds into the cosmos, slowly unraveling the mysteries of worlds beyond Earth. Astronomers map the sky, tracing constellations and discovering exoplanets, tiny orbs orbiting distant stars. You drift across this expanding map of worlds, feeling the gentle elegance of patterns emerging in the vast darkness. Each exoplanet hints at the potential for other environments, other possibilities for life, and other perspectives on the delicate rhythms of existence. The universe is no longer distant abstraction. It is a landscape of inquiry, reflection, and imagination, patiently observed and gradually understood. Space telescopes capture not only visible light but infrared, ultraviolet, X-ray, and gamma rays, revealing hidden aspects of stars, galaxies, and black holes. You drift alongside these instruments, sensing the quiet patience required to interpret signals invisible to the naked eye. Each discovery deepens the sense of wonder, revealing structures and processes that mirror the meditative rhythms you have felt since the birth of stars. Human knowledge grows like a slow tide, each wave a reflection of curiosity, observation, and reflection. You notice that humanity's exploration is both outward and inward. The more we observe the universe, the more we reflect on our own existence, our place in time and space. You sense the quiet hum of understanding spreading, connecting planets, stars, galaxies, and human thought. Even from a distance, the universe seems intimate. Each discovery a soft whisper that resonates with the mind, encouraging reflection, imagination, and contemplation. And now, as you drift among telescopes, spacecraft, and observatories, you sense the human mind extending across the cosmos like a delicate, patient thread. Knowledge is built slowly, carefully, a meditation on the universe's vastness. Observation and imagination intertwine, carrying consciousness outward while grounding it in the quiet understanding that every discovery is part of a larger rhythm, a continuous unfolding of stars, planets, and life itself. Asterisk, asterisk. You begin by letting your awareness expand beyond the limits of present time, drifting across the vast, ever-stretching fabric of space. Galaxies continue their slow dance, merging, colliding, and separating in calm, patient rhythms. Stars burn and fade, some giving birth to new generations, others collapsing into quiet black holes, shaping space around them. You sense the immense patience of cosmic processes unfolding over billions or trillions of years, a meditation on time itself. Even as individual stars flicker and die, the universe continues to pulse gently with energy, carrying forward the legacy of creation. Humanity, having followed curiosity from Earth to the stars, now looks even farther, imagining journeys to distant galaxies, to the outskirts of clusters, and to places where light has yet to reach human eyes. You float among these dreams, sensing the soft courage and wonder required to imagine traveling across unimaginable distances. Spacecraft and probes become extensions of the mind, carrying questions, tools, and imagination into the void. Knowledge grows slowly, layered upon centuries of observation, reflection, and experimentation. Each insight a gentle thread connecting human consciousness to the infinite universe. You sense life evolving along its own path, perhaps not only on Earth but elsewhere, carried by planets, moons, and distant stars. The universe teems with quiet potential, worlds forming, ecosystems unfolding, and consciousness emerging in forms beyond imagination. You drift across these possible worlds, feeling the subtle rhythms of chemical and biological processes, the patient unfolding of life's patterns over eons. Life is a meditation on possibility, a slow and deliberate dance guided by physical laws, yet infused with the gentle unpredictability of chance and adaptation. Galaxies continue to drift apart as cosmic expansion accelerates. You sense the soft stretching of space, carrying clusters of stars farther from each other, dimming the glow of distant lights. The universe may one day approach a state of quiet uniformity, a calm darkness where stars burn out and matter cools. Yet even in this distant future, the memory of creation endures. Every photon, every atom, every structure carries the history of billions of years, a gentle whisper of what has been and what might be. You feel the beauty in this slow fading, a meditative reflection on impermanence and continuity alike. Meanwhile, human curiosity does not wane. minds continue to explore not only space but the nature of existence itself. Consciousness expands into virtual realms, into artificial intelligences, and into the very fabric of matter and energy. You drift among these possibilities, sensing thought extending beyond bodies, beyond planets, beyond conventional lifetimes. Curiosity becomes timeless, a quiet meditation linking life to the cosmos in ways that stretch imagination and understanding alike. The universe itself becomes both subject and companion in this reflective journey. Even as stars fade, black holes linger, slowly radiating energy over unimaginable spans of time. You sense their quiet presence, the gentle hum of gravity shaping space and matter, echoing across voids where galaxies once glimmered. These silent titans are part of the cosmic meditation, carrying energy and information through slow, patient processes that continue long after life as we know it may have ceased. You float in this stillness, feeling the rhythm of creation and destruction, the balance between activity and calm, the enduring poetry of the universe itself. And yet, possibility persists. Dark energy, dark matter, and the subtle forces that govern cosmic evolution continue their silent work, shaping the grand architecture of space. You sense that even in apparent stillness, the universe is alive with potential, carrying hints of new structures, new patterns, new cycles. Human imagination, perhaps augmented or transformed, may continue to follow these patterns, interpreting the whispers of cosmic laws, uncovering secrets, and reflecting on the ultimate questions of existence. You drift with this infinite curiosity, aware that exploration is as much a meditation as it is a journey. Time stretches beyond comprehension. You sense the long, gentle flow of events, stars fading, galaxies dispersing, and cosmic expansion carrying everything into calm darkness. Yet knowledge, imagination, and the legacy of life leave enduring traces. Every observation, every calculation, every act of reflection becomes part of a vast, subtle meditation connecting consciousness to the universe. Even as the cosmos ages, the human desire to understand, to imagine, and to explore continues, echoing the rhythm of creation itself. And now, as you drift across this distant future, you sense the quiet interplay of time, matter, energy, and awareness. The universe is both vast and intimate, its rhythms mirrored in the patient unfolding of life, thought, and imagination. You float in a meditative awareness of continuity, the gentle thread linking the first stars to the last, the first cells to the last conscious thought, the beginning of curiosity to its timeless pursuit. Even in the silence of the distant cosmos, you feel the pulse of possibility, the enduring whisper of wonder that is carried through billions of years.